Dev here, and as you can see, I have an HDP50 compact here, and I do have the slide blacked out. I got the impressions and stuff like that filled in, but from what I've seen, other people that say the shape is a little weird, and they call it space gun because look at it. It's a strange shape, and I've read up on this a little bit, and people were talking about reshelling it, or putting it into another chassis, because pretty much you take this apart, it's the valve and this thing, the trigger, barrel, stuff like that. So I took it upon myself to try to find something that would be suitable to do that. So I found this. Found a airsoft pistol. This is a spring one, and it's dirt cheap. It's like $10 or something like that. So I don't feel too bad molesting it. It is a UK Arms. I think the model is a V310 or something like that. It's probably like some sort of clone of some sort of pistol out there, but this seems to kind of fit the bill. Like, this is pretty close to the dimensions I want it to go in. So you see, the length is almost correct. See, front to back, it's probably just a little bit off. The height of the grip, the angle of the grip, the trigger looks a little bit off, but that's fine. But the width is pretty close too, so I kind of feel like it'll go. Honestly, the height, I'm not too worried about it. I'm just gonna slice down the middle so this can can show, and I can do the loading and pull this whole the follower back, so I can do that. But the height looks correct, so pretty close. But before I do that, let's see how this thing goes. So I'm just curious what this airsoft would actually do. So let's see what it can do. So I have a couple BBs in here, and I have this crony. So let's see. 41. This in meters per second. Okay, I possibly had that in meters per second, but it said 41 meters per second. Let's try this again. Get 137. Okay, that's more like it. So I am using 0.20 gram BBs in here. 134. I got one more. 140. Okay. So 0.2 gram BB. I'm getting 140 feet per second. So yeah. Now, since we know how lackluster the performance of this thing is, let's start tearing it down and getting it ready for chassis swap, I guess. So I'm going to tear down both of them. So, those are 4 screws, so let's see if this thing splits. There we go. Another screw there. Good thing I didn't try to break it. And inside, the spring for the slide, and the actual spring here, 2 screws. I can use this spring for something else, probably. So those 2 screws, let's see what happens. So it has a bunch of dowels, and yeah, that's what makes it have that feel of weightiness. But yeah, just gotta tear it down a little bit more. This can come out. Probably should be able to reuse that barrel, probably. None of this is needed anymore. I'm gonna just gut the entire thing. But yeah, put that aside for now. So let's tear this thing down. So remove that, what you call it? The puncture button cover thing. The only thing I really like about this whole weird trigger is I can hold a couple more rounds in here. So I might lose that functionality. So let's put that over there. So top half is taken apart. So bottom half. So let's take this apart. Comes apart like a clamshell. And this lifts out, so then you get the guts. Let's do this also. Let's take out the CO2 cartridge. And let's get rid of these balls. Okay, put that aside. So, let's take a look at this. So, two halves. So it'll go in like so. That might work out pretty well. So that is pretty close. Let's I'm gonna chop a bunch of stuff out. Well, let's see if the trigger kinda moves correctly. Yeah, I'll screw around and do fitment and all that junk, but yeah, we're gonna have to do some major cutting. Right, did some shaving inside, so I'm not gonna show this nitty gritty detail because it's just me cutting and shaving stuff in here. So just to give you an idea, this is what it looked like before, and this is what we got now. Pretty much hollowed out, and this thing is starting to fit. It's starting to go in the correct direction, so yeah, looks like it's fitting and trigger's moving. So yeah, gonna have to do that on this one too, and yeah, I'm gonna continue with it, but I'm not gonna show this process because this is me just screwing around and cutting stuff and whatnot. So yeah, so I got the two halves shaved out, and yeah, you see that is done on both sides. So let's see. So it drops in pretty well. Probably gotta do some tighten up when I you know, do the final fitment, but let's drop the other side on, and yeah, look at that. Yeah, not too bad. You know, probably gotta, you know, do a little cleanup on the inside and shaving so everything looks or fits good. Gotta figure out what screw holes I can use too. But yeah, look, wait. Nice. The trigger still works. This won't work because I think that worked more or less because that was integral to this chassis, the HDP50 compact chassis. So this doesn't actually work, so there's no safety. But you know, that's besides the point. It's starting to come together, which is pretty cool. Huh? I'm getting there. So I had to do some good chopping or grinding, whatever you want to call this. I had to put some holes in, you know, really grind that upper part or the slide. It's going to be the upper. It's not necessarily slide anymore, really. It's not going to slide back and forth like on the airsoft, but yeah, it's so far the sides fit okay. Probably, yeah, it's still kind of rough, but it does fit. But yeah, take a look at that. Yeah, I gotta do some cleanup and, you know, do some better fitment on this, but yeah, it's coming together. Yeah, I had to do that, but you're gonna see that, not that. It's a little rough. Gotta play with that, but yeah. So, as I said before, I'm not gonna show you the whole process, but pretty much, yeah, this is a gutted airsoft pistol, and you can see a lot of it's removed out of both sides. I actually super glued the slide to the, you know, receiver or whatever you want to call that. But both sides are exactly the same. All the amenities are there for the HDP50 compact, a little indicator. Well, indicator will probably not necessarily work anymore, but here's a hole for it so you can access it with something. You can probably like poke a little Allen wrench down there, or like a stick or something to release the pressure when it's low, so you can undo the punch button. But this is actually the moment of truth here. So the whole thing does sit in here. So it does shake around a little bit, but once you get the other side of the pistol on, everything comes together perfectly. So punch buttons here, as you can see, it still operates. Still operates. Trigger works. Yeah, that's how it ended up going, because, you know, I had to cut that out for clearance underneath, and you can kind of see into there, which kind of sucks. Debris might get in there. Yeah, you can see the top here, which it's fine. No one will probably ever notice that, probably, hopefully not. And there's a couple other spots like that where you can kind of see it almost punch through, like here, a couple spots here. You can see that's a hole that's definitely from the screw hole that I chopped out for it to work. And, you know, a little valve back there, that's fine. But yeah, oh yeah, and then, yes, this hole here that you have so you can, you know, get to the chamber, but that actually works. So yeah, it still functions, and you can drop the rounds in, see? And yeah, it still functions, which is cool. And yeah, lock it down, and yeah, it's good to go. Which is pretty cool. So here we go. I think this is pretty much the finished product. So all seams are good, well, as good as they're gonna get. I had to super glue because some of the screw holes end up not lining back up, but for the most part it's together. It feels much different, and, you know, it has that different profile from the stock HDP50 compact shape. You know, it doesn't have this weird space gun look anymore, which is kind of nice. But I'm gonna keep this because yeah, the shell is kind of flimsy now, so yeah, you can kind of hear it because it has some parts it's just super glue holding together, and yeah, you can kind of see that. And then the windows, I think I'm gonna try to 3D print a couple pieces just to fill these gaps up, just so nothing is exposed. But I did lube it with some silicone grease, so everything is actually smooth, and yeah, it's loaded and everything's working. Pretty cool. But yeah, if you like compare it to like other pistols, like here's a Lancer Scorpion. It's smaller than the Lancer Scorpion, You can see here. Yeah, the punch button sits up a little bit higher, but length is just about the same. Scorpion's a slight bit longer. And this Lancer Hornet, if you compare it to this one, almost the same size. It's a little bit shorter. There you can see here. Yeah. But yeah, almost the same size as the Lancer Hornet, which is kind of cool. Yeah. But yeah, it seems like everything went back together pretty smooth. So for this, okay, I was able to turn it. Guess that still does work. Like, I like the HDP50 compact because you can undo it with your hands. I guess you can do this with this. Kind of tough getting it lined back up and spinning it back on though, because it's very recessed into there. But you know, what can you do? But everything still does function though. Punch button feels pretty like it's sitting down a little bit. You know, it's not recessed in, so I think you can still punch it. But yeah, and you can load and all that stuff. This, yeah, that's in there, but I gotta get something thin and pointy to poke at that if I do need to unair the pistol. But other than that, yeah, I feel like this was, yeah, it's not loaded. Don't worry about it. I feel like this was a success. I've read people talking about reshelling HDP50 compact, and I found nothing online about it, or I've never seen anyone do it before. So I thought I'd try my hand at it and find a airsoft or some sort of chassis I can slam this into, and yeah, that's what I end up with. So I hope you guys like this video. I guess that's it, and yeah, thanks for watching.